My name is Priscilla Oluwatoyin. This presentation is made concerning my IEP ambassador. Is an IEP Ambassadors Challenge presentation. IEP stands for the Institute of Economics and Peace, and today being the 23rd of November 2024. I'm not going to take too much of your time because I know you've all been here for quite a while. So just to acquaint you of what IEP is all about, what they do, and what they stand for. So let's dive right into it. We'll be talking about the Global Peace Index, the Ecological Threat Report, and the Global Terrorism Index. So let me do a brief introduction of what the IEP is all about. The IEP means the Institute of Economics and Peace. It's a non-partisan, non-profit think tank dedicated to shifting the world's focus to peace as a positive, achievable, and tangible measure of human well-being and progress. Let's take a brief look at the IEP report for last year, 2023. And it says that the GPI, the Global Peace Index, covers 163 countries, covering 99.7% of the world's population. It uses 23 indicators across 3 domains. And what did they do? What have they been able to get? The data that was supplied by the IEP for last year says that global peace deteriorated by 0.42%. 84 countries became more peaceful compared to 2022, and 79 countries deteriorated compared to 2022. So let's try to understand the key statistics concerning the Global Peace Index. Global peacefulness decreased by 0.42%, as we just read. The most peaceful nations, that's Iceland, still topping the first, still holding up to the first position. Iceland remains the most peaceful nation, followed by New Zealand and Ireland. The less peaceful nations, I'm sure all of us know, Afghanistan holds the first, that's in that line, followed by other countries such as Syria, Yemen, South Sudan. The Global Terrorism Index provides insights into terrorism patterns, focusing on the drivers of terrorism and regions most affected. In 2023, a small decrease in global terrorism rates was reported. However, terrorism roots in social, economic, and political instability are far from being resolved. So the key findings show that there was a decrease in terrorism-related deaths, down by 1.2% as of 2023. And we have just heard about the top countries that were affected. That's referring to countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, because they are still experiencing significant impact from terrorism. Now let's talk about the Ecological Threats Report of 2023. The ETR covers various ecological risks, including water stress, food insecurity, and natural disasters, which are anticipated to intensify in coming decades. The key statistics are that 2.6 billion people are already vulnerable to water stress as we speak. 1.4 billion people face severe food insecurity. Climate-induced migration is still very, very much in place. It is predicted that by the year 2050, 1.3 billion people may be displaced due to environmental threats, violence, and conflicts. These figures underscore the urgency of addressing climate change and resource scarcity to to avoid more frequent and severe natural disasters. Let's now bring this report back to us here at the Sharing Note, because the topic that we are looking at is the topic we are dealing with is global challenges and local realities, understanding peace, terrorism, and ecological threats through the lens of recent flooding in the Sharing North, Opit, Lagos. We all know what we just experienced not too long here, just about 3 weeks ago, when our community was flooded. We all know what we went through. I was part of the people that was really affected, and we all had to go seek temporary accommodation elsewhere. Sorry. So the opening of the Oyo Dam flooded our streets, revealing vulnerabilities in infrastructure and community preparedness. That we cannot overemphasize, because these things have been going on for years now, and not much has been done to look into this problem that hits us every year, especially in this community. These conditions create the potential for severe social disruptions, and that was true when this flood hit us here 3 weeks ago, which is why the IEP's 8 pillars of peace is being proposed for good governance, better quality of life, and peaceful communities. So let's talk about the IEP's 8 positive pillars of peace, which they try to propose for better governance to our country, and that we also can use to address our leaders concerning peace and everyone's well-being around us. So before we talk about the 8 positive pillars of peace, we need to define it, because we know that if we have positive pillars of it, then definitely there's something called negative peace. So negative peace means the absence of conflict or violence, such as war or physical aggression. It is a passive state where there is no fighting, but the underlying causes of conflict, such as inequality, injustice, or lack of opportunity, may still exist. Then let's talk about positive peace. Peace means the attitude, institutions, and structures that create and sustain peaceful societies. It includes factors such as social security, strong institutions, economic development, respect for human rights, which address the root causes of violence and promises long-term harmony. So the 8 positive pillars of peace are: 1, sound business environment; 2, well-functioning government; 3, low levels of corruption; 4, equitable distribution of resources; 5, acceptance of the rights of others. I hope everyone is following. 6, free flow of information; 7, high levels of human capacity; and 8, good relations with our neighbors. Well, with the handouts in your hands, I'm sure you'll go through them and try to familiarize yourself with these 8 pillars of peace, because we can use them in our everyday lives, use them to compel government to do the right thing, use them to speak to community leaders to also do the right thing in our communities, to avoid especially this flooding issue we have we are battling with here at Sharing North. How IEP's research helps us understand the future. Relating global issues to local realities. Our experience in the Sharing North is one seen in a larger story. Just as our community faced difficulties, similar events nationwide show that peace and stability depend on how we handle ecological stress. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Do you agree with me, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so can we interact a little bit, and then if you have any questions so far, because I'm trying to rush because of the want of time. So if there's any parts you would like to ask some questions on, or you have suggestions or contributions in any way, please can we have it as you look through the handouts with you.
Thank you very much. So, my EP, my PA, my PM, fellow Rotarians, faculty trust. Thank you. Yes, the Rotarian. So, you quite elaborate in your delivery, and I've been following with rapt attention. Um, I just want to draw attention to this pillars of a positive piece.
Yes.
Mine is just like a contribution
Okay.
in the aspect of governance, well-functioning government, and in relation with low level of corruption. If you ask me what we are experiencing as flood here in the Sherry, to me, if we have good functioning government,
Yes.
um, that is not corrupt. What we are experiencing here is a mirage. It shouldn't be, honestly. This flood can easily be combated. I learned that most governments are lied, especially the state governments. They are lied because of their political gains. You know, when there are
Collect funds.
hazards, when there are disasters,
Collect funds.
you know, they
Political
tend to gain from world donations and grants. You know, because if you ask me, if we dredge these waters for the past how many years, I've never seen the dredger in our waters. Meanwhile, we keep expecting flood. If we have a functioning government, what we expect them to do is to come over and dredge these waters. You know, even if it is once in a year, dredge it all the way. And we have what we call artificial dams. You know, after dredging the water, you know that you open a dam and you expect that water to flow somewhere. You don't just open it up to flow into homes, into communities, and wherever. You prepare an artificial dam as well, where this water can flow into. And we have vast land around the Shagamu axis, towards other side of Ikorodu, towards Ijebu Ode and the rest. You can map out a particular area and prepare an artificial dam where this water can run into. And having dredged, it will be very easy for that dam to accommodate the excess that the river that has been dredged cannot accommodate. I think that is my simple.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Honorable.
Point.
Hi, fellow Rotarians, our friend from Rotary, friend and guest. Very wonderful presentation. This is a research, right?
Yeah.
Very wonderful. You see, at some point, I have to go back to look at the topic of your presentation, and I see peace, terrorism, and ecological threats. Well, I may be wrong, but you see, there are two parts to every research: the introduction, the issues, and solution. Yes, I see introduction here. I see issues, but I do not see how you have connected peace, terrorism, and ecological threats. If it's in your topic, then there should be a connection, how this affects this and that affects that.
If you read through, you will see it all there.
You only gave us tidbits and allowed us to do the remaining calculation on our own. You need to open or elaborate further, as if we we are nursery school children. That is what research presentation is all about. As if we don't know it, as if you are teaching us, as if you are advising us on what to do. And then there is no solution. My brother talked about dredging of the Ogo River. Yes, dredging works. But if you dredge this river, Ben's house will disappear. And probably some IPGS's house will disappear. The government knows that. I was expecting that at the end we'll have a paragraph, solutions, what you think government should do, individuals should do, community leaders should do going forward, having seen the problems in the beginning of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other?
Protocols duly observed. Dr. Anthony, I will score you 75%. That's an A for you. Bearing in mind that the perspective you looked at this presentation from, not the last time I checked, you are not an environmentalist,
Okay.
but you are able to come up with this.
Nice one.
So again, I commend you. It's all right. Now, having said that, some of the observations raised by some concerned people there, I would like you to go back and integrate them into this work. And I can tell you free of charge, if that is done, and you give me an opportunity of seeing the documents, you might have just won yourself an opportunity to do a presentation at the forthcoming National Environment Summit, which will be a big one for you.
Thank you. In closing, I want to address the questions that was raised. Yes, solutions are there. If you read through the 8 pillars of positive peace, each of the points there have things that can be done, like the sound business environment says that flood disrupt businesses, so creating flood resilience infrastructure is critical. That's solution number 1. For the second one, well-functioning government, quick and effective response to disasters, save lives, emphasizing the need for responsible government.
We have it already.
So,
We have it already.
if you look through and then you come down to where we have the conclusion, there is a call to action there. Asking everyone to asking everyone one house please. So there is a call to action there, asking everyone to join the IEP's work by spreading. The IEP has over 100,000 members scattered all over the world. So when you join the IEP, all these data are not my data. They are data gotten by the Institute of Economics and Peace. They are data gotten by the Institute of Economics and Peace. So by you joining the IEP, you come in contact with so many information, take their courses are self-paced, and you can get more information
Online.
for this, yes. On the IEP through www.visionofhumanity.org. So I implore everyone to come on board. Let's spread this message of peace. Thank you so much for your time.
Before you round up, before you say thank you, I understand. Maybe you didn't understand. You didn't understand my earlier observation.